that's the first time all season I think you've went 1-1 in both classes. Just how does it feel to do that again? You used to be able to do that all the time, but it's getting more difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe back in the days, let's say when we had Tony in MX1, when we had Jeffrey in MX2, and some days when we had Jorge in MX2 and stuff like that. Yeah, it was more common that we were dominating even both series, but I should say almost luckily the sport has evolved in a way that more brands or more manufacturers are involved, and that it's not that easy anymore, because honestly at some stage it almost looked too easy. Winning became too easy, and that's definitely not the case anymore. And that's why also when it happens like in a weekend like this, why we really like to take the moment, and where we really like it's a double win, but we also try to really double enjoy it.
And Andrea Adamo, 2 years ago he only won 2 GPs and it was enough to win the title. This year he's already got double that. But mentally he seems to be in a lot of stronger place this year, and he looks to be probably faster and fitter than ever. Would you agree?
Yes, for sure. Andrea has become a better rider, a stronger rider. He has physically become stronger. He has mentally become stronger. Okay, that comes with the years also, of course. But yeah, some guys will never get it. Some guys will have it quick. We also see that with Lucas Coenen, that kid at the age of 18, what he does is just extraordinary. I think if you talk about the mental strength and stuff like that, but for sure also for Andrea, I think in 2023 it was more like, yeah, there were no expectations. It's just everything was good. He was really relaxed, but yeah, he learned a lot from that. But he even learned more from the difficulties what we had last year. The rough times we were going through with not finding the right setup for him, not getting it all dialed in. That was not easy, but yeah, often the saying goes like a cliche, like we come back stronger. But in the case of Andrea, I think that's really reality. We have learned from the tough days, and yeah, it looks like now really on the track so far that those difficult times have made him stronger.
And the KTM MX2 guys last year, they didn't look quite comfortable as they do this year, in my opinion. Did you work hard on the bike over winter? And I'm sure you had a big role to play in that as well.
Yeah, as everybody knows, we didn't have new bikes. Most likely also for next year we will not have new bikes, let's say, or a new evolution. Our bikes will be most likely based on this year's, and this year's is based mostly on the one from last year. And how modern bikes have developed, the changes you make are small. It's really called fine tuning. And I think that's what we focused on the winter, on the fine tuning, on just more dialing in the bike more to the needs of the rider, and that has, yeah, seems like it has worked well in general in the whole group.
And Jeffrey Herlings back to winning Wales at last. Just what's it like to see him win again? First and foremost, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I told him also very honestly that I was expecting him to be at that level and to be in winning ways a bit earlier in the season. When he started riding and I saw him doing practice and national race, I thought like by the time we go to Portugal and Spain, I was really expecting him there to fight for podiums and eventually even for the win. But okay, he has his history with all his injuries and stuff like that. So at the end, maybe I was a bit too enthusiastic. Yeah. I was maybe trusting too much in his skills and in his raw speed and stuff like that, but was maybe not realistic enough considering everything he has gone through. But as I told him after the race, I said, okay, Jeffrey, I was honestly expecting it a bit earlier, but it has come now. It has come slower, but for sure things that come slower last longer. So I'm really looking forward to the coming races.
The thing is though, most riders have to be close to 100% to win a GP. Most riders have to be, you know, at least close to being 100% to win a GP. Now Jeffrey's just won today. How close do you think he is to 100%? You know,
Jeffrey is good. Yeah, physically, that's what I mean. Physically,
in terms of speed,
physically
though.
And physically and also in regards of raw speed, he was already quite good earlier. But it was a matter of more a matter of confidence, you know, like building the confidence, the trust, the package with the bike, and to bring it in race circumstances, let's say. So no, Jeffrey is difficult to say, but maybe not 100%. But he's not far off. He's on a good level to do what he did this weekend. You cannot do it if you're only 70%.
And after Lugo, I think he'd done his first test with the team. He looked a lot more comfortable on the bike. Did he make that many changes? It seems to be most of the changes were just to get him out of the gate.
Yeah, like I said before, not a lot of changes, but of course we had, compared to last year, we had a few small little updates, which I can't explain in detail, but few small little updates. But because he wasn't riding all winter, we couldn't bring the updates yet. So Jeffrey was basically started his training program after the injury with his bike from last year. Okay. So because that was the bike he rode last, and we wanted to start with that, like to just build up, get a bit confidence there, and then see where we were, and then eventually, when the time was there, to eventually bring the updates. And that's exactly how we did it, and I think was the right way to do it. And yeah, from there the confidence grow. He found the updates immediately positive, which created an extra boost for his confidence. And yeah, we've taken good steps from there. And
Lucas Coenen, he's still representing KTM, even though it's a different team. How impressed have you been with him? And as a fellow Belgian, you must be. I mean, he's so smooth as well. Yeah. I mean, last year there was a lot of crashes, but it's smooth.
Yes, as being a Belgian, like you say, I'm really proud to see a Belgian doing that well, and he's on a KTM, so he's on the same color as us. He's from the same family, and yeah, I think we are not realizing enough how exceptional it is what he does. And like you mentioned yourself, in MX2 he was still showing a lot of, let's say, aggressivity in his riding and stuff like that, which resulted every now and then in mistakes or crashes or whatever. But anyway, which resulted also already in many GP wins last year. And if you see how quick he has adapted to the power of the four-stroke, how nice he rides it, how I would almost call it old school, with little clutch, with how he has the throttle control, how he used the power of the bike at the right RPM. Wow, I'm really enjoying seeing him ride.
And Marc-Antoine Rossi, have you got an update on him? I believe he might be back on the bike next week, or maybe not.
Yeah. Marc-Antoine will have his checkup at the hospital this coming Wednesday. Okay. Then X-rays scans will be made to see how far the shoulder is healed, and then we will make a decision. But he will not, for example, he will not be riding Latvia. He will not be riding, for sure, not England. And I think honestly, we have his gear set ready for Finland. But I think honestly, it's too early, still too early also, because please remember that he got hurt here 1 year ago, and actually since then he almost hasn't been on the bike. A little bit before Argentina, and after Argentina he got hurt again. So he has been 1 year out of competition actually. So this is gonna be a long road back, and we need to make sure he's only 19th, but we should not make any mistakes there, and take the time to build that up.
He's going to be under a bit of pressure when he comes back to get results. Like, are you open to keeping him for next year, or do you want to see what he performs like first?
Okay, this is definitely on the table internally. Okay. Because we still do believe in his potential. He has that raw talent, that raw speed that in the past more French riders have had. Okay, he's also a little bit more that southern type, laid back a little bit. So we need to see. But we do believe if we can get that package together, if we can create a good structure around him, that there is still a lot of potential. So it's for sure not decided yet that he's not in the team anymore. Okay. We consider him as part of the team, as part of the discussions, absolutely, for next year. Even if the results, as I said again, he has been 1 year out. I do not expect him to come back and play for podiums. This is not realistic. So we're gonna see how he builds up confidence. Like we've talked about Jeffrey already. This can sometimes take time, and we need to take the time and avoid that he, especially avoid that he gets eventually injured again or something. So with him, we need to keep in mind. We need to keep him in mind regardless from results, because if we keep him, it needs to be for next year. I do not expect miracles.
And there was good news on the KTM front last week or the week before. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of doubt about the future, but they've got an investor. Just how's that made things behind the scenes less stressful, maybe?
Of course, that has created kind of relief. Of course, that's true. We've always kept believing, but honestly, it has been at some stage difficult. The uncertainty has, puts weight on your shoulders. And of course, sometimes breakfast, lunch, dinner table, we've been talking about it, that's clear. But luckily, the salaries always have been paid of the mechanics and stuff like that. So we've never given up working, let's say. We said, fuck, we need to go through this together, even if it's difficult, even if we don't know what the future brings. But also with sitting back and doing nothing, that for sure is not going to make the future more easy. But the fact that now, more or less, let's say, there is a new foundation and to start building again, gives us all,
new motivation.
Yeah, new motivation, and who knows what happened today maybe is even a nice sign of it.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, and all the best.